What's Cooking with Lolo? And it is your girl, Lolo. Guess what we're doing today? Sweets for the sweets. We're going to put together a nice sweet potato pie with all these ingredients you see before you. So, without further ado, oh, wait a minute, one more thing. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification button as well. So therefore you'll know when I upload a video. Now back to the matter at hand. Sweet potato pie. Let's get this baby started. So, what do we have here? We got 2 sticks of butter. I've had this butter out. It is room temperature. If you can see, it's nice and already melted. So I'm not going to melt this any further. We're just going to add it into with the rest of our ingredients. I have 3 tablespoons of vanilla. I know it seems like a lot, but we got a lot going on here. Here, I have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon as well as a half a tablespoon of nutmeg. Of course, we got our pie shells. I have 5 eggs at room temperature. I love using the brown eggs. They're so much better when you're baking. I have here a half a cup of brown sugar as well as 1.5 cup of white sugar. Yes, we are using both. No, it does sound like a lot, but believe me, it's gonna be good. And of course, the star, our sweet potatoes. I have already taken our sweet potatoes and boiled them for about an hour on the stove, okay? I haven't even peeled them yet. I'm gonna show you how to do that. They're already nice and soft, so they're actually ready to go. And of course, we have some canned milk that we're gonna use in this. All right, so without further ado, let's get these sweets moving. So, remember the sweet potatoes that I told you I have already boiled? I just washed them off with cold water, put them in a pot, and let them boil for an hour. So now we're going to take the we're going to take the sweet potatoes and we're going to peel off the skin, which is fairly easy. Just rip it off. You always want to make sure your potatoes are cool. They can be a little warm still, but be careful because when they're hot, they're hot. You don't want to burn yourself. See how easy that was? Just pull the skin right off. And I have 5 potatoes here. I'm actually going to make 4 pies, sweet potato pies. So that's why I have nice big sweet potatoes. And we're going to put this all together. Again, it's pretty simple to come off, but again, wait until your potatoes have cooled to the touch, okay? And we just put them in our bowl here. Last one. Yes, it will have water in it. You did boil it, so yes, it may have a little water in it, which is fine. All right, so let's clean up this mess and begin to assemble our sweet potato pie. So now that we have our sweet potatoes peeled, all right, so now I'm going to use my masher and mash them. You can go straight at it with the blender. I just do this. This is just what I do. But you can skip this step and just go ahead and put the blender in and start to add in the rest of your ingredients. But let me show you how I do it. So I just mash them. Get them ready for the ingredients. See? Quick minute. All right, so now mashed potatoes. No, sweet mashed potatoes. Yeah. So again, we have our nutmeg and we have our cinnamon. I'm going to go ahead and pour that over our mashed sweet potatoes. See, bloopers happen. That wasn't supposed to happen. See? There. Now, I add in our vanilla flavoring. Egg, 1 by 1. You're supposed to crack it into something. Here I go. I'm cracking it right into the sweet potatoes, which is fine. I have, again, 5 eggs at room temperature. Your butter also should be at room temperature. You usually melt it, but if you have it sitting out long enough, it will melt. I'm not going to melt it down any further. Just make sure you don't get no shells in this sweet potato, okay? All right, so we got our 5 eggs. Now, like I said, this butter is already like so soft. I'm not going to melt it down anymore. This is good enough. I'll just scrape the softened butter off of the packet. And again, I'm using 2 sticks. All right, so I'm going to start to blend this together the way it is before I add in our milk and our sugar. So with your hand blender, go ahead and start to blend. For a minute. Now, you see those strings? That's what you want to pull out of there, okay? So you don't want to hand mix this. You want to use the blender. You see these? These will come from the sweet potatoes. You don't want that in your sweet potatoes. So you want to make sure you blend that sweet potatoes to get those straggly strings off, okay? Now, on to our milk. Now, my grandmother, when she cooked her sweet potato pies, she always used a canned milk, canned water. I'm going to use, or at least start, with a cup of evaporated milk. And a cup of water. All right, so we got all that added. Now we want to again start blending our sweet potato mix here for our pie. Now, if this becomes too thick, you can add more evaporated milk to it. And just know, this will splash, okay? This is liquid. It will start to splash everywhere. So just watch it. So again, we brought out some more of the straggly pieces, which is fine. Now, we want to add in our sugar. Again, half of a cup of brown sugar as well as 1.5 cups of white sugar. So we're going to pour that in. Let's stop a minute and clean off our blades here, okay? All right, so sugar's in. Let's start blending that up. You get all that sugar blended really well in here. Looking good, looking good, looking good. The consistency that I'm looking for. I don't want it too runny. Now, this is where you stop to taste, to see if this is the way you want it. All right, hands down, done. Let's begin to take this, put it into our pie shells, get these pies into the oven. Ready? See you back in a minute. All right, so here's our sweet potato ready for our sweet potato pie. All right, perfect consistency. This is the way you want it. You don't want it runny, okay? And if it does become runny, add in some flour, okay? A tablespoon at a time. Now, I have 4 pie shells here. And we're going to fill each pie shell and after you fill your pie shells, Go ahead and get them in your preheated 350-degree oven from anywhere to 45 minutes to an hour. Now at 45 minutes, I would suggest you check it and see where you're at. If you need to keep it in there for a little longer, by all means. I hope I have enough to even use for this 4 pie shells. I think I just about made it. Just about made it. You want to scrape every bit of your sweet potato pie filling into your pie shell. Now, I do not pre-bake my pie shells. Why? Because they're going to cook along with the pies. No, they don't get soggy at the bottom or anything. They come out perfect along with your pies. All right, so as you can see, I did not fill them completely to the top. I did leave some room. I like crust. So when they bake, they will bake up perfectly. So again, my oven is already ready, preheated 350 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and throw these in there. I'm going to check it at 45 minutes to see where I am. If I need to leave them in there a little longer, then I will. But I try not to leave them in there for more than an hour. All right? See you back in 45 minutes. So after 45 minutes out of the oven, this is what the pie looks like. But guess what? I'm putting it back in for another 15-20 minutes because it's still not too set in the middle. So I'm going to put it back in. Meet you back in another 15-20 minutes. It has been an hour. I have taken the pies out of the oven. And after an hour, this is what they look like. All 4. They are not wobbly. They don't shake. We're just going to let them sit now and settle and cool for about an hour before we even dig into them. We don't want to cut them while they're still hot. We want to wait for them to at least completely cool. So, I hope you try this sweet potato recipe. I hope you like it. Don't forget, thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so every time I upload a video, you'll definitely know about it. Thanks again for tuning in to What's Cooking with Lolo. And I'll see you next time.